men's and women's teams both beat Arizona for the Territorial Cup, but of course, we're starting with the Super Bowl. Guys, it's tomorrow. Very fast 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, it feels like it flew by. Like, had I not known it was tomorrow, I would have thought it was next week.
Right?
Seriously. I don't know what it was, but maybe it's just all the excitement leading up to this, Rams, Patriots Super Bowl that has me excited and ready to watch. It just flew by.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have to agree with you. It feels like everything was kind of 1 week sooner this year during the NFL season. Because it always felt like the Super Bowl was like the second weekend of February, like growing up.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, now you're like, wait, what? February?
Like, it's already here?
Yeah.
Like, that questionable call was 2 weeks ago? What?
Yeah.
That
questionable call is like a distant memory with all the stuff that's happened in the last 2 weeks, though.
It's not a distant memory to the Saints.
That's true.
City of New Orleans will not forget.
It's going to be seared into their memories for the next, probably 25 years at least.
Oh, yeah. Poor Saints fans. Good luck next season. We're
honestly
praying for you a little bit. Well, Tom Brady's back at it again, going for his 6th Super Bowl ring. This is his 9th time being there. Gab, I see you roll your eyes. We wrote him off. I won't say we, but a lot of people wrote him off, said this wasn't their year, and here they are, and they've created themselves as sort of an underdog, which is amazing. The Patriots have created themselves as underdogs. Have you seen their Twitter?
Yes. It's the funniest
they're like when
thing.
No one else believes it's us. It's like, okay, you're here for the 3rd time in a row.
Right. I mean, it's funny because, they have created this narrative of the underdogs, but I think it's because everyone else is just tired to see them as the favorites. So when everyone decided, okay, we're not going to favorite the Patriots this year, we're not going to do it. So now it's like subconsciously created the underdogs of the Patriots, which I think is just an oxymoron. I think it's so funny.
It's not. Oh yeah, it's not a thing.
The two don't go together. Like they don't go together at all.
Right.
Which I mean, it's kind of. I think it's kind of hysterical that even if you look at the Vegas odds, I think Los Angeles is favored by only about 3.5 or 4 points or something.
No, that's
the
funny thing. The Patriots are favored -2.5.
The Patriots are favored now. Okay, because beginning of the week, the Rams were favored by 3.5 points.
And Vegas realized they made a mistake and made the Patriots a favorite. They made it really fast. They came out with it. Rams were favorites for maybe an hour or so, maybe longer. It just felt like an hour. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh no, the Patriots are -2.5.
Oh, okay.
I was like, oh.
I think that fits because, like I said, everyone was like, no, we're not gonna root for the Patriots this year. And then it was gonna be, so they decided, you know what, we'll put the Rams out first. And then everyone was betting for the Patriots, and they're like, wait, no, let's shift this line.
Yeah, Vegas, come on, you want to make money? Make the Patriots the favorites.
Honestly,
but it's interesting the Patriots are the favorites though, because they always lose to Miami in Miami. That's kind of a given now. But they've had games where they just haven't looked like themselves. I mean, the game at Pittsburgh just was not pretty for Tom Brady or anyone involved, and yet here they are.
Right.
No. And they kind of walked through the playoffs a little bit. The Chargers.
Right.
And then the Chiefs, they were up 14-0 going into the break.
I think if you guys remember, like December, November, when the Patriots were kind of having a little bit of a dip, and everyone was worried, they're like, oh, is the Patriots, gonna do well again? And no, and then, they go into the playoffs, and you're like, oh, wait, it's business as usual.
Right.
Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, they have no worries, and they are just going to fly by everyone else just to get to that another ring.
But honestly, I mean, I'm still not gonna... the Patriots created this quote unquote underdog narrative for a reason, because they know that the opponent they're facing tomorrow is gonna be, they're gonna give them more of a fight than anybody else did in the playoffs thus far.
Hopefully.
I hope that the Rams kind of go the distance with the Patriots. I mean, if you got Aaron Donald on your front defensive line, I really hope that you have a chance of beating Tom Brady. If they don't have a chance of beating Tom Brady, then I'm sorry, nobody does.
Well,
I'm sorry.
And attacking Aaron Donald is going to be really interesting. NFL Honors are tonight, actually, on NFL Network or CBS.
It's NFL Network.
Probably both.
Why the night before the Super Bowl? Nobody from the Super Bowl is going to go or anything.
That's the point. They have everyone in Atlanta for this NFL honors because they're already in
Okay.
the Super Bowl city. They just started doing NFL honors rather recently, actually having like a show for it.
Yeah.
This year's host is Steve Harvey though, so you better believe I'm watching. Steve
Oh,
Harvey.
good lord. No,
But
well,
Aaron Donald, potential Defensive Player of the Year, probably Defensive Player of the Year. Hurts me to say a little bit because of Khalil Mack.
because Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
But if you would double team him, it's going to be really interesting to me to see how the Patriots attack this. Because if you double team Donald, who's guarding Sue?
I mean,
And now-
that's the devil's advocate, or like the catch-22.
Right.
Not devil's advocate. Sorry. It's early. I'm tired. No, yeah, that's the catch-22.
It's cloudy out.
It is, yeah.
Like, Arizona, what are you doing?
It's the catch-22 because like, you need to make sure that you don't have Donald, running into Tom Brady every 5 seconds, but you
That's a
also
scary
don't
thought.
have you also don't have Sue just having, a clear line if they're going to double team Donald, you know what I'm saying?
Right, and it's not like they don't have, other than Sue and Donald.
Right.
Dante Fowler Jr., who they traded for from the Jags this past season, had the play of the game and caused
Yeah.
another probably questionable call. His hands were to the face. Drew Brees couldn't see if you look up a close picture of it, but arguably made the play of the game there. I'm not giving Nikhil Robbie Coleman. He did not make the play of the game. But everyone has a role on that defense. It's very clear. It's not just Aaron Donald, and that's
Right, yeah.
the scary thing.
And I think that's what's really smart about the Rams defense and the way you look at their line, and it's just saying, like, everyone has their job, and they know it, and they perfected it. And they do it so well, that's why they're so successful.
Right.
It's not like they have one or two players that are carrying it. It's everyone is doing their job, minorly or majorly, and that's why they're here.
Right. And the Rams, with Sean McVay, he's the youngest head coach in Super Bowl history, 33 years old. Bill Belichick is 66 years old, guys.
Good lord.
Tom Brady is 41 years old. Jared Goff is 24. I mean, this is just young versus old. It's not really David versus Goliath, but it's the old comers versus the newcomers. It's this new wave of offensive football.
The
that's
quote
coming in.
unquote next generation, because
Right.
everyone now is picking from Sean McVay's coaching tree, and
what I
AKA
find
the Cardinals.
interesting,
The Cardinals.
Yeah. Well, you know what I find interesting, though, about Sean McVay's quote-unquote coaching tree is that he was with Jay Gruden in Washington.
Right. Yeah.
So does Jay Gruden have a coaching tree now?
Everyone has a quote-unquote
Everyone has a
coaching tree.
I feel
you
like
can
he
go
has a-
everywhere, and you can find these little splinters of branches and being like, oh my god, like, he went from there and there and
He
there.
had
and-
lunch with Sean McVay.
Oh
Hire
my God.
him. Hire him
Pretty
now.
much. Pretty much.
I feel like he has a coaching tree by extension. Like,
Yeah.
he has a little bit of a root in the Sean McVay coaching tree, and then like McVay's tree kind of exploded from there because
But if
I
you
don't-
look in, like, the last year, the people that have been hired off of Sean McVay's coaching tree is insane. Just the sheer amount of numbers.
Kingsbury was, right? Technically?
Yep.
Because he had lunch with him.
because he had
Yeah.
lunch with McVay. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, also something I find funny about McVay is that this isn't his first meeting with Julian Edelman. Back in 2007, Sean McVay, I forget what position he was. I think he was wide out. With the University of Miami, Ohio, he was wide out for University of Miami, Ohio versus the Julian Edelman-led Kent State Golden Flashes. I'm talking Maction, people. Maction. This is back in 2007 when Sean McVay was playing Julian Edelman. Just if you don't get how young he is yet.
I was about to
He's
say,
young.
to
Yeah.
be clear, Julian Edelman is a player on the New England Patriots. Yes, you heard it.
He's a wide
Player.
receiver.
Yes, he is a wide receiver on the New England Patriots going up against the head coach of the opposing team, Sean
That's amazing.
McVay.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Actually, quick side note. One of my favorite things about the Rams is that they have a guy that holds Sean McVay back from the line.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah.
If you haven't checked out this video, Google it. And it's literally like an interview of like this guy. He's like, yeah, my job as an assistant coach is to physically hold Sean McVay back from not getting run in by the refs.
I think that's hilarious.
And I think it's amazing. Like,
I
where
wanna
can
know
I
how much
sign
he
up for
makes.
this job? I'll do this literally probably for free because I think that'd be amazing and it would be so fun. But I just, that was my quick side note to the Rams coaching.
I mean, to add to that, who knows, maybe that assistant coach will also be a part of the Sean McVay coaching tree one day.
Yeah,
honestly,
holding back other coaches.
it probably will.
You're hired. We want to know what you know.
You can make six figures just by holding back the head coach of your football team.
That's the dream.
I want to make money off that.
I do too.
This Super Bowl is also a rematch of the 2001 Super Bowl played in New Orleans between the Rams and the Saints, where the Patriots were underdogs taking down the greatest show on turf, Kurt Warner and his team. And they won 20-17 off an Adam Vinatieri kick. Adam Vinatieri actually coming back for his 24th season. Man's insane. But
24?
Yep.
That's more than I've been alive.
Yes, that's
just as a quick reference. He's older. He's played in the NFL longer than I have been on this earth.
He's played in the NFL longer than all three of us have been on this earth.
Oh yeah. But going back to the game now, I'm looking. This is the 9th Super Bowl appearance under Belichick and Brady.
Right.
There's only three quarterbacks, I should say, three teams that have beaten the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl.
3 teams or 3 quarterbacks?
I guess quarterbacks.
Okay.
I know it's early.
Giants, Eagles, and Rams.
Just Giants, Eagles. Eli Manning twice and Nick Foles.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
So does Jared Goff get the job done is what I'm asking. Because we've seen him under pressure not perform. I'm going back to the Bears game, people.
Yeah. Anytime you can reference your team, man.
Of course. Oh my god, of course. But they double-teamed Donald. They took Gurley out of the game. Right. Now, granted, that game, C.J. Anderson wasn't a part of it. So I'm really interested to see how the Patriots, what their defense does. Because their defense isn't known as amazing. They don't have any superstars.
It just gets the job done.
But they get the job done. So what do you guys think?
Well, I'm quote-unquote reading right now that Sean McVay says Todd Gurley is 100% for the Super Bowl. So if there's any hope for the Rams, that's it. I think that if they get the running game started and they are successful with their running game, it will take the pressure off Jared Goff to having to throw it, because I think that's where the Patriots are going to attack. Like you said, like if you take Goff out of the game, take
Gurley out of the game.
Yeah. I mean, both. If you take out the passing, it relies a lot on Gurley, and that can shut him down pretty fast. But if you have a strong running game to start with, you don't have to rely on passing as much, which allows, Jared Goff to, just make critical throws and, just be successful with that aspect, rather than, having to, throw 3 out of the 4 downs. If you throw, 2 or 1 out of the 4 downs, then, you have a higher chance of being successful and getting that yardage.
Yeah, C.J. Anderson's been the one getting the rock lately.
Right.
In the absence of Gurley, since he was absent against the Cardinals game, actually was his first absence. But it'll be interesting to see who gets more touches, Gurley or Anderson.
Yeah.
How do they use them both? How do the Patriots attack?
I mean, how do the Patriots attack or how do the Rams attack?
Both, I guess.
I mean, I would think Gurley would get more touches because he's. I mean, I know there's been question of his health, but I feel like he is the better running back between the two.
I mean, I can see it.
So dominant.
I can see it both ways. I can see it where they maybe start out with Gurley early in the game, see how the Patriots are going against him. If it's not as successful as the Rams would like, I could see C.J. Anderson then getting more touches later on in the game. I don't think it's going to be like the Rams are going to say, okay, we're going to have, 50 touches for Gurley and then 25 touches for Anderson. I don't think they're going in like that. I think it's going to be definitely a feels base of saying, how Gurley feels, especially if he's coming off an injury, how he feels when he's, playing at that high of a level, and then how, the defense is shifting around Gurley or Anderson. I think that's going to be the Rams' main deciding factor around that.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we're talking more our Super Bowl picks, Tony Romo's wizardry, and a little debate on the best player to never win a Super Bowl. The list might surprise you. Number 7 might surprise you. We'll be right back here on Blaze Radio. And welcome back here into the Bill Austin studio. We're still talking Super Bowl. A little bit of Tony Romo's wizardry. People have started to notice him more. He's been doing this since last year, guys.
Yeah, I know.
But
it's crazy. But I think that was also one of his biggest games that he called. Because, with the championship of, was it the AFC? AFC championship. That many more people are watching rather than just a regular season game, if you get my drift.
Yeah, but he also called last year's AFC championship game, which it was a David versus Goliath matchup and everything. But I feel like they halfway through the season they told him, hey, tone it down, don't predict every play like you are. And then someone told him, just do what you're doing because people love it, people are listening, and he's just so fun to listen to. He finally made it to a Super Bowl, guys.
That is so sad.
Single tear.
Single tear.
You know what? Sometimes you're not always meant to make it, as a player. Think about Sean McVay. He's 33 years old. He tried to play football. Like you said, he played in college at a really small school.
In action.
And what?
Miami of Ohio.
Yeah. And did he ever end up playing in the NFL?
That's a really good question.
Because
I don't think so.
Even if he played in the NFL, he never really made it super big. But then he became a head coach. He became a head coach of a team going to the Super Bowl. He's the youngest head coach to ever make it to the Super Bowl.
Right.
And then you look at Tony Romo. I mean, okay, Romo had a really good career with the Dallas Cowboys, but you always look at it Romo was always the guy to go 8-8, miss the playoffs by one game,
or always get knocked out the first round.
Yeah.
Very much Cowboys curse kind of thing, where they could never get past the first round, and you're like, yeah, okay,
it's a Cowboys thing.
It's the Cowboys.
But then, sometimes you gotta find your niche in, so he's kind of found his niche in, the sports casting world, or, as, almost like an announcer, kind of. He doesn't necessarily call games, but he's,
the color commentator.
Yeah. He's the color commentator at halftime. He's the wacky former NFL player who gives crazy predictions that just so happen to be true. He's kind of found his niche as the guy in, the NFL world of, sports, of color commentating and sports broadcasting, which I think is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, and what's really funny too about the whole test of just throwing Tony Romo into the booth is that ESPN has tried to do the same thing with Jason Witten.
Oh, yeah.
And if you've listened to a Monday Night Football broadcast, I think we can agree they're just not the best. Joe Tessitore, I love you, but Witten and Booger McFarland, it's just not working. Mm-hmm. Actually, not that anyone watches a Pro Bowl anymore, but it was really funny. Witten tried to predict a play.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone saw that. It was early in the game.
Yeah, I saw it.
And he was wrong.
And he was wrong. Okay.
It's
no surprise.
But then also he said that, I can't remember who was the quarterback, but it was he threw to a target
Mahomes to Eric Ebron.
Yes, and it was no, they weren't on the same team, and
he was that's been his guy all year.
Yeah,
and
it was oh no,
Witten, no. So I think that's what makes Tony Romo so amazing, is that they just threw him in the booth and it worked. Mm-hmm. And he's predicting these plays. He's right. He's reading the defense.
Right.
It's amazing.
Yeah, but
you're also up there too.
Yeah.
You're not in the field.
Right. It is different. But I remember, or I'm reading someone saying that, why don't more sportscasters do this? Why don't they, predict more plays? Obviously it's not easy to predict plays, but it's also not the hardest thing in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, if you know how offenses work and you know how a scheme works, you can predict it. But the biggest thing is that they don't want to seem wrong. And so far, Tony Romo hasn't, had an egregious error like that, where he's been, so off that it's...
I don't think he's been off once.
No, right. But I'm saying, if it's, maybe slightly off, it's not as big of a deal. But if he hasn't had something where he's, completely missed a call, And so I think that's what's really special, is that he's not afraid to make that jump into, actually try to predict plays or to actually try to, call them. And he's right. And, that's fantastic. but I don't know if we'll see an increase of people trying to predict plays, if that makes sense.
I agree with that. I think that's what makes Tony Romo so special.
Right.
That CBS kind of lets him do it, and he's good at it.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's fun for all of us. I can't wait to hear him call the Super Bowl tomorrow.
I know. It will be really exciting to watch him call the Super Bowl. And I think it will be fun to just see how animated he gets and,
And he gets so
have
excited.
some passion
it.
for it because, it's exciting. It's the Super Bowl. It's going to be a great game, hopefully. And, it'll be interesting to really see the passion in someone who actually loves the game. And you can tell loves the game.
And honestly, let's be real here. Like, there will be a winner at the end of this Super Bowl. It'll be either the Rams or the Patriots, obviously. But
no ties.
Oh God, you can't have a tie in the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, you just can't unless they have two Vince Lombardi trophies.
It's like it goes on for days. It's like they're still tied in overtime. Sudden death.
Says the Patriots are still stopping the Rams on 3rd and long.
But in actuality, I think the real winner of this Super Bowl is gonna be the fans who get to hear the Tony Romo call.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be like it almost feels like a story of redemption kind of for Romo because after like his very frustrating NFL career, like I don't know, you guys remember watching him when we were growing up?
Yeah.
It felt like every other day it was like, oh my God, Romo separated his shoulder. He got a concussion. Oh God, yeah. The last 5 years of his career, he was hobbling down the field.
I think he's underrated as a quarterback, but at the same time, you can't throw those late game interceptions that were almost guaranteed.
I feel like, unfortunately for Romo, he had a lot more potential than I think he was able to, take advantage of.
Right,
he's still a great quarterback and he still did fantastic, but, I think everyone had such high expectations for him and he kept getting hurt and kept failing to meet those expectations.
Right.
Like, he was supposed to be the one to take the Cowboys to the Super Bowl multiple years and he wasn't able to do it. And, the fact that he's now able to, kind of live the Super Bowl dream in a different aspect is really special. And I think, hopefully he takes advantage of it and he does a fantastic job. I know we all want him to do well tomorrow.
Yeah. We all want him to be successful.
Because it's more fun. Exactly. It's more fun for us. It's more fun for the fans. And it's more fun for him, hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the goal, right? We're all here to have fun. Is that not what the Super Bowl is about?
Not to the Patriots.
That's true.
No, I know, right? It's like win or leave.
Right.
Even after they win, Belichick's already going to be talking about OTAs and how he expects every player to be there within the next 2 weeks, and you're going to be like, buddy, we haven't even had the championship parade yet, and you're already gawking at your players to get back on the field.
I didn't even get to go to Disneyland.
Yeah. All right. We also have. Sarandon actually found this. I hadn't heard about this.
Yes.
I hadn't heard about it either.
Super Bowl ad that will premiere before the start of the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And it features the first female college player. She's out of LA. It's historic. It's special. It's awesome. I can't wait to see it.
Well, just to clarify, she's the first female college football player.
Right.
Yeah. So not only is it just overall cool to say that you're a college student and you're in a Super Bowl ad, but the fact that she's making history and she's playing football at this level and she's getting the representation and the spotlight of the Super Bowl to show, hey, girls can play football too at a high level, and her dream is to make it to the NFL. And by all means, try, girl. I couldn't do it, but good for her, and I'm really excited to see what this message sends to young women everywhere. Especially, there's quite a few girls that grow up playing, flag football or pee-wee football, but they don't necessarily make the leap to high school. There was actually a girl kicker on my high school football team when I was a sophomore, I want to say.
We had a couple kickers too, but they were on JV. Mm-hmm. Actually, back in my hometown, Saline, Michigan, Saline and Ann Arbor, they're right next to each other. But Saline High School, we had a female football player. I was too young to remember her position. I don't remember if she was a kicker or not, but she was on the team and she was the only one, and it was awesome. I loved seeing it.
Yeah, so it was really cool because I was like, maybe I should try out for the football team, and I ended up not doing that. But it was just really fun to. It's just a good message to send to young women everywhere that women are able to play football at a high level, especially the collegiate level. It's not easy to be a college athlete in any sport, let alone, football, which is arguably one of the most hardest sports to get into the collegiate, playing field as. So, I'm looking forward to seeing the commercial. I look forward to seeing everyone's reactions to it, positive or negative. I think it's going to be a good conversation, and it's going to open the door for a lot of young ladies out there.
I mean, I remember seeing, I don't know, do you guys have on Snapchat, there's this one little channel called, No Days Off, mm-hmm. and it's it's a little channel where they highlight really, really talented young athletes from around the world, essentially. They've highlighted a 19-year-old rock climber who's trying to get to the 2020 Olympic Games, because for the first time Tokyo is implementing rock climbing as one of their sports. They've highlighted, they've highlighted, and well, to get to my point, they highlighted a high school football player, a girl from Hawaii. She's 14 years old, and she's playing tackle football. She's the quarterback of her team.
Nice.
She's a quarterback and she's a kicker. She plays both positions, and it sounds like she wants to try and play at the Division I level. That's what she really wants to do.
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
Her team ended up winning the state championship for the state of Hawaii, which, I mean, it's not exactly a football hotbed, but you're talking about
it's a state championship. You're still playing a good couple schools.
Oh yeah. But it's the I heard somebody say this phrase once. It's rumbling. The world of this idea that females are kind of cracking into the world of football. Mm-hmm. It's rumbling hard, and it's going to explode. And it's still rumbling with girls like this, the first ever women's college football player. It's rumbling with a high school athlete who now is not only kicking but is also playing quarterback and trying to make the varsity team and all these different things like this. The idea of it, it's awesome because it's kind of putting it's sending the message out there, and I think that, honestly, seeing that commercial this weekend, it's going to be a fun thing to talk about next week, to see the reactions to it and stuff. You look on Twitter and everything like that. So I mean, honestly, I wish that girl the best, man. I really hope she makes it to the NFL.
Yeah, I mean,
same here.
I really hope she does well and she finds a place that will be a good fit for her. But I also think that it has this commercial and, all of the females who are out there playing football on their local teams, I think that could be, enough motivation to potentially start a women's league, which I think would be fantastic, because, I mean, it's one thing to say, we wish her the best, play in the NFL, but the NFL has some really big, hard hitters. And I don't know how tough you are as a girl, if you're hit by a 300-pound man, it's gonna hurt.
If you're hit by Aaron Donald coming at you full speed.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt. Even, for a man to get hit like that, it's just not fun. And so, I think, if women want to have success in football, I think that they should create their own league for it. So it's a little bit more evenly matched with the talent and, the comparisons. That. Because, honestly, as much as I want to preach, women can do, what men can do, and we can make it into the NFL because, I believe that we can do the same things as men, but at the same time, realistically, logistically, it is not the same game with, the players at the NFL level versus, women who are playing NFL level.
Right. And that's so true, and I totally agree with that. Mm-hmm. That just getting hit.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the guys can't even take those hits. No. It's insane. All right. Now, I think it's time we make our Super Bowl predictions, scores included.
Oh, scores included?
Scores included?
Of course, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just keep in mind, a couple facts to keep in mind. 12 of the last 14 Super Bowl champs were wearing white jerseys. Only 2 were the Patriots last year, actually. They got a little superstitious with it and wore their away jerseys, so that's why the Eagles were home, and that's why the Patriots are away again. And the Steelers in 2010, when they wore white, the Packers beat them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Bears lost that NFC Championship
Who was wearing white this year?
Patriots.
Okay.
Okay.
Also, the over-under is 56.5. I don't know it will be close, but either way should be a good game. Patriots have also, all of their Super Bowls have ended within one possession. There's never been a Super Bowl they've played in, except against the Bears, where it hasn't not been one possession.
The Chicago fan speaks again.
Of course. All right, Super Bowl score predictions. Gabby looks like she's thinking. Sarandon, I'll start with you.
All right. This is tough because I have been notoriously hard on the Patriots, and I really just want to see the Rams win just for the pure upset factor, and I think that it would be fantastic. But I cannot bet against the Patriots again. I can't do it. It's hard. But I want the Rams to prove me wrong, if that makes any sense.
I think a lot of people do.
Yeah. So I'm going to take the Patriots 36-34 against the Rams.
Gabby?
Ooh, okay. So earlier this week, if you had asked me, I was not going to bet against Tom Brady. But after this week, kind of doing my research and everything, looking at, honestly, have you guys ever just looked up Aaron Donald on YouTube?
No.
I recommend doing so because you'll just have like 10-minute long mixtapes pop up of this guy literally bulldozing through like literal, it looks like human beings that look like literal brick walls. He bulldozes through them like they're nothing. He bulldozes through them like they're me, like a teenage girl who's never been on the football field once in her life. And so
not pros, not running.
Not pros that can run, 4-second 40-yard dashes at 250 pounds of pure muscle. No, not that at all. So after watching those videos, and you kind of look at the Rams' offensive attack with Gurley, and you look at Jared Goff. I think the kid, this is his chance to prove whether or not he's really the real deal. Like, number 1 overall pick, 2016. This is kind of a tale of two ends because Brady was obviously the 299th overall pick, I think. 199, sorry. And so honestly, I went with the Patriots earlier this week, but now I'm flipping over to the Rams.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Rams on 20-17 victory.
Ooh.
Same score as Super Bowl in 2001. I believe that was 36. I'm not good with Roman numerals, but same score. Do you think it comes down to a field goal then?
Yeah, I think it does because I think that Donald really does like a good job, like especially if you look at the Rams defensive line. I think that they're going to force the Patriots to try and rely on their run game a little bit more. I understand Tom Brady is who Tom Brady is.
Right.
But I also understand that this Rams team, this is almost kind of like a passing of the torch game where the Patriots, I feel like, are kind of on the tail end of their dynasty. Granted, we've been saying that for the last 5 years, and in that time, they've made, 5 straight trips to their conference championship game and 3 straight trips to the Super Bowl?
They've been in the AFC Championship every year for a while now.
Yeah. But at the same time, we don't see a clear succession to Tom Brady.
Right.
We don't.
And he's not going to retire until
and he's not going to retire for a while. But until there's a clear succession, we can't really gauge if the dynasty is going to continue.
Right. Yeah. But honestly, I think if the Rams can pull this off, which I think they will, I think it's almost like a passing of the torch, kind of from Bill Belichick, Brady, kind of down to McVay and Goff and Donald and all these really great players for the Rams. And I mean, honestly, West Coast, Best Coast. I'm from SoCal, so LA repping in the Super Bowl. We got Boston versus Los Angeles in a capacity I never thought I would see as a sports fan. So I'm gonna go with the Rams 20-17.
All right,
close one.
I'm gonna go with Sarandon here. I'm not betting against the Patriots. Also, if you'll remember last year, they lost the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't no way Bill Belichick and Tom Brady are losing 2 in a row.
Right.
I don't care how good the Rams are. They're not. I worry a little bit about Sean McVay getting too cute. I don't think he's going to be overwhelmed necessarily. I think he's a better coach than that.
Mm-hmm.
We could see it, but I think he's going to try to get too cute with his play calls. And the only team that's going to make him pay any more than the Saints kind of did, than the Bears did, are the Patriots.
Right.
Bill Belichick's too smart to lose 2 in a row. I think it's going to be kind of high scoring. I hesitate to say the first team to 30, but I'm going to go with that. I think it's the Patriots. I think it's, again, a one-possession game.
Right.
And I don't think it comes down to a field goal, though. I think it's going to be 31-27 Patriots.
Yeah.
I do think whoever has the ball last will, eventually
Will win. All right.
I think it's too close of a game to, just say it's going to be a blowout by the Patriots or a blowout by the Rams. I think, if you look closely, it's going to be a battle of coaching ability and play calls, and that's really what it comes down to. And it's going to be who can out-scheme the other, and whoever has the ball last will solidify their win.
All right, you heard it here first. Probably not. We've been talking about it for 2 weeks, actually.
Honestly.
Yeah.
But Super Bowl 53 tomorrow, 6:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 Mountain Standard Time on CBS. Patriots, Rams. We'll see who wins tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Puppy Bowl's also tomorrow at 3 Eastern on Animal Planet. Adopt your pets. Rescue. It's a great thing to do.
Also, just watch if you want something to warm your heart.
Yeah, I might cry. I don't know. I miss my dog.
It's the cutest thing.
It's
so cute. Can you imagine just being there filming it? And you're just, watching the puppies, and you're just filming on camera.
I wouldn't know how to get that job.
Yeah.
All right.
Same.
Okay, so we want the job to pull McVay off the line
field,
and filming the puppy bowl.
Oh, yeah.
If
Or just being
anyone
there.
has those connections, let us know.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so Super Bowl and Puppy Bowl Sunday tomorrow. Tune in. And we'll be right back with some questionable NBA trades. We took a poll from you guys on who won the Mavs-Knicks trade, or were the Knicks just stupid. So we'll be right back here on Blaze Radio. Welcome back here into the Bill Austin Radio Studio. We're talking a little NBA now. Anthony Davis wants out of New Orleans. Lakers want him. They're not picking up his calls, but there was a big trade that I was shocked by.
Mm-hmm.
Kristaps Porzingis wanted out of New York, and he got his wish. And he is now with the Dallas Mavericks. And he still won't play this season due to his ACL injury, sadly. But big trades, NBA, a lot of NBA news now. All of a sudden, it's like it's our turn. Super Bowl's almost over.
I know. Yeah, the Bleacher Report posted this morning that the NBA is completely taking over the media circuit right now.
Right.
And in the midst of literally the biggest event in sports every single year is getting drowned out right now.
Right.
Not even by stuff happening on the court, by stuff happening off the basketball court.
Isn't the trade deadline this week?
Yeah, it's on Thursday. Thursday.
It was funny because I saw a tweet, and it was like, NFL was like, just let us have this weekend a Super Bowl, and NBA was like, nah, fam.
Nah, fam.
Sorry.
Business
as usual.
Oh yeah, all the more reason, honestly, if you're the NBA. But no, when the Kristaps Porzingis news broke that he wanted to be traded, I read it originally. I remember reading an article that was saying Porzingis is very frustrated with the New York Knicks organization because he doesn't like the direction they're moving in. He doesn't like the idea that they're tanking as he's going into his prime and stuff. And he wanted to play for a contending team. I thought that meant he was trying to make up a plan or something where they'll basically start building up the team quickly within the next few years. They'll try and sign Kyrie and Kevin Durant and all these different players. But honestly, I mean, within 24 hours, he was in the Dallas Maverick, and I was shocked when I saw that. I was absolutely shocked.
I think Knicks fans were too.
Yeah.
little bit.
And it's interesting that he picked the Mavericks out of all of the teams that he could have gone to.
Well, I think that's just the trade that went down.
Right.
Yeah, it was just kind of the trade that worked
Porzingis,
out.
along with Courtney Lee, Tim Hardaway Jr., and I believe Burke, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Trey Burke.
Yeah. Former Michigan Wolverine Trey Burke, as well as Hardaway Jr. Anyway, they were traded to Dallas for Wesley Matthews, Dennis Smith Jr., DeAndre Jordan, and
the tone of your voice. The tone of your voice when you were DeAndre Jordan.
And I believe a few picks that are to be named. We asked you guys, who do you think won this trade? We got 70 votes. It was between Mavericks, Knicks, And what was New York thinking? Which I'll take as Mavericks. So we had 50% say Mavericks won this. 23% said Knicks. 27%. What was New York doing?
Well, what New York did was they brought on a bunch of, like, expiring contracts, essentially. Because, like, Wesley Matthews, DeAndre Jordan are both expiring deals. And New York is trying to basically, they're all in this summer on the Kevin Durant sweepstakes, on the Kyrie Irving sweepstakes.
Yep.
Just like they were with LeBron in 2010, just like they were with LeBron James in 2014, just like they were with Paul George last summer, just like they were when Kobe Bryant became a free agent in, like, 2007 and wanted to supposedly be traded to New York. New York's been, quote-unquote, all in many times now.
And they've won 0 times.
They have won 0 times. Their best move, quote-unquote, was getting an aging Carmelo Anthony who refused to adapt to the modern NBA and is now out of the NBA because nobody wants to deal with him.
Yeah. I just wanted to see him in a Bulls jersey once. Like,
Bulls jersey?
The Bulls are bad, man. I would not have cared if he played. The Bulls are just very dysfunctional. I hope Boylan, I don't know if I'm saying his name right. I hope he's out next year. But what would have it hurt? Like, we got money for him. That's all we got. Like, they didn't even, like, trade any more assets. Just one time. Come on, just for the fans.
But honestly, I mean, it's just... I mean, going back to where New York's at now, they're kind of all in on this summer. They're hoping to get Zion Williamson, obviously from Duke. I'm guessing you guys have heard of the 18-year-old phenom.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's kind of hard not to. He's blowing up on social media, and ESPN is having a frenzy with him.
ESPN makes it really hard for anyone to forget about Zion Williamson and LeBron James.
Yep.
Sorry, but God, their relationship with... I'm sorry, Gabby, but...
I'm a big fan of both of them, so... I'm an LA Lakers fan till I die, so, and I'm a LeBron fan till I die too. So you put the two together, and it's just like, I mean, and I grew up in the LA area, and SportsCenter anchors from Los Angeles usually during like the evening hours, like really late at night. Sometimes they'll be like, SportsCenter is live from LA. I'm not 100% sure how the scheduling works, but the fact that it's in Los Angeles, LeBron James plays in Los Angeles, like it's kind of just a media frenzy. It's a storm that you really just can't stop.
We get it. LA's cool. What else do you want to...
Yeah. Okay.
Stop flexing on us.
Yeah.
Chicago was negative 60 degrees this week. So can LA do that? Can LA go from negative 60 degrees to 50 degrees by the middle of next week? I don't think so. Yeah,
it's supposed to be 50 degrees after negative 60.
I'm sorry, but
if that's the high in Chicago,
if that's the
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, somewhere around there.
If that's the thing that your city gets to brag about and be proud of this week, while my city gets to brag about being in the Super Bowl and getting LeBron James back on the court, I mean,
yeah, but can LA do that with its weather? Nope.
Phoenix has nice weather.
Phoenix isn't a real city. I feel like we have to have this conversation.
Phoenix isn't a real city? Excuse me.
Where are we living?
Well, how many people...
We're living in downtown Phoenix, girl. I'm sorry, but...
Okay, but, like, the amount of people walking around...
It's a commuter city. What can I say?
Okay, whatever. Phoenix,
I love Phoenix.
Still... I do, too. It's still warmer than Chicago, but it's not a real city. Anyway,
speaking
of Phoenix,
getting back to NBA. Speaking of Phoenix, the Suns have kind of been thrown into the fire a little bit in terms of like Anthony Davis. So Davis wants to go to Los Angeles, and his father came out yesterday. Yeah. I don't know if you guys saw this. He came out yesterday and said, "I don't want my kid in Boston," even though his kid is a 25-year-old man who's been playing in the NBA for 7 years. Not exactly like the father has much to say.
He's in his 30s, but anyway.
No, he's only like 25. He came to the NBA when he was 19 in 2012.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Unibrow.
It's a unibrow. It is.
It's a unibrow.
It is.
No, but his father came out and said, "No, I don't want my kid going to Boston because of how they treated former Celtics point guard Isaiah Thomas."
Right.
Yeah, Thomas gave his heart and soul to the city, and then I mean, within a year, Thomas was on his third NBA team, having gotten traded away from Boston. He played...
For Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, for Kyrie Irving. Another player who they might lose this summer, we'll see.
That's another conversation we'll have in a minute.
Mm-hmm. But no, so Phoenix has kind of been thrown around in the fire. I've seen some stuff on social media that they might try to be a part of like a 3-team deal where they end up with Lonzo Ball in the end, because
That'd
they
be
need a
interesting.
point guard. Yeah, they
The
need a
Suns end
point
up
guard.
with Lonzo Ball?
Yeah, the Suns end up with Lonzo Ball,
Yeah.
and I don't know. So
I don't know how
here's-
LeVar would feel about that, but we'll see.
I know.
Oh my god,
exactly.
we have LeVar. Well, he's been quiet, so
I think I'm pretty sure Magic Johnson and LeBron James told him to like pipe down.
it was probably LeBron James.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when
it
LeBron
was.
James comes knocking on your Ball estate in Chino Hills, California, looks around and says, "Hey, if you don't like stop being an idiot, your kid's getting traded, and he's not going to be able to play with me." He was probably like, "Oh, okay, I'll stop talking now."
Yeah, LeBron's like a GM of the team. I think, Gabby, you showed me this video where he was looking down at a paper and then looking over at his teammates, just like, trading you? No, you can stay, trading you.
Exactly.
And it's so true. I mean,
Oh,
he
it's
just
so
gets
true.
his pick of the litter. Like, every time. But back to the Suns. They've been struggling. They're 11-42 on the season. Had a close game with the Spurs.
That was the
126
best post-game interview by Popovich I think
Oh
I've
my
ever
God.
seen. It was so glorious. Oh my gosh. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, then after the Spurs-Suns game, when people were interviewing the Spurs head coach, Popovich, he came out and said, we didn't deserve to win. The Suns outplayed us. They out-hustled us. They got robbed, basically, is what he said. And there was there were more to it, but that was the gist. And yet the Spurs
So
won,
funny.
and Popovich just like walked out, and he was like, "The Suns deserved to win," and I was like, "Thanks, Popovich." That one really hard, really hard.
I don't know if the Suns should take that as like a slap on the back, like, "Oh, you were so bad.
Good
we
job,
played our
kid."
worst game of the season and still beat you," or like, "No, this team has hope for the future. They were able to compete with the perennial superstar Spurs that are, I
gonna
guess,
take
on
the
the downward
latter.
spiral."
Yeah, I'm going to take the
I'm gonna hope for the latter. Yeah, it's been rough watching the Suns because they have moments of greatness and they have good players. It's just something's not clicking and it's just annoying.
And I've watched them play a few times. They're just a young team.
Yeah.
Like, they don't, like, back to Chicago, the Bulls just look so dysfunctional on the court.
Yeah.
It's just hard to watch. I haven't watched the game in a while because it's just so hard. They're just... The Suns, at least, nothing's clicking. The Bulls haven't even gotten to the point where nothing's clicking.
Right.
They just don't know what's going on.
And I think that's the problem with the Suns is that back in the heyday with like Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire, like the greats of the Suns after Charles Barkley,
Yeah.
I think, they were an experienced, mature team, and then we went from them to having, like, basically our draft picks, our rookies, like, thrown into the fire against, the Western Conference is not easy, and it's hard to, like, forget that, because you just have the Lakers,
Son of a gun,
the
especially
Warriors, the Rockets, like, you have so many good, Western teams that you're just, like, the Suns can't get off the ground because they're just not strong enough, big enough, mature enough. Like, they're still kind of boys, and like they're playing against grown men, and that's just hard to get your feet under you when you're just constantly just losing to these like fantastic teams.
Well, I mean, the team is young. Like,
Right.
you make a good point because they have pieces
Right.
that they could easily build on. Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton could easily dominate this league as, like, the next great duo for the next 10 years. But, like, side note, did you guys you guys went to the U of A game the other night? I know Sarandon and I were there. Yeah,
I could not make it, unfortunately, but I was watching.
But you know who was there?
Ayton.
DeAndre
He was
Ayton.
there.
The 6'11" University of Arizona, one-time freshman Pac-12 Player of the Year who left after last season, obviously to go to the NBA. He was tromping around Wells Fargo Arena with he was wearing all black. He was so.
He was
tall.
trying to
blend
hide.
in.
But he's so tall that it's hard
can't.
to.
Yeah.
It's just hilarious.
But honestly, if you kind of look at what the Suns have, they need a floor general, they need a point guard, and they need some veteran leadership. They brought in Kelly Oubre Jr. just a couple of weeks ago from Washington, and they were making some steps forward. Like, they beat the Denver Nuggets a couple of weeks ago when Denver was the top-ranked team in the West. They I mean, they held their own against the Spurs. Granted, the Spurs have not been the best team this season. They're not, the same team that won the championship in 2014 or anything. But, like, I remember I work at a radio station, and the radio show host, I got to give him credit for this because he says it perfectly. His name's Dave Burns. It's on the Burns and Gambo show. Burns literally said it perfectly. He said, the Suns take 1 step forward and 2 steps back. 2 steps forward and 5 steps back. And that's kind of been the narrative of this team. They show glimpses of what they can be, but they just really it's going to take them a while to be able to flip that switch.
Yeah, and I think, it has to do with veteran leadership. It has to do with they just need to play in the league a little bit more. It's like the jump from college to the NBA is so much larger than people realize.
I know.
That it's so hard to come out. Like, Ayton was a star in college. Like, no one could touch him in college. And yet, he's on this team and they're not being as successful as they hoped. So I think, it does come down to leadership. It comes down to maturity, and it comes down to they just need time. And that's hard for fans to watch because it's hard to just see, loss after loss after loss.
Yeah.
Well said. Perfectly said. All right, well, that is it for the Futures Female here. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
ASU, quick basketball notes, ASU women's and men's beat University of Arizona for the Territorial Cup.
Hey,
Yes.
Devils over Wildcats.
Forks up.
My Michigan Wolverines beat Ohio State this week, so we're all happy about rivalry wins. They lost to Iowa, but we'll forget that.
Side note, they lost to a worse team right after beating Ohio State.
It's Friday night, and it's not even Kinnick, but it's Iowa. Something about Iowa. I don't know. But thank you for joining us. Forks up for ASU beating U of A. We're still better. Thank you again for joining us, and we'll be back next week on The Future is Female.